Earthlings, what's up?
It's your man Skyzoo.
Thursday 92 crew.
Sasha Mackie.
Yo, this is K Mayfield, Mania Music Group.
What's good, people? This is your man 49 live and direct.
Roby from the Trico Class.
I am Eternia from my mother's womb.
This is Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop.
Rockin' with Dead End Hip Hop.
Shout out to Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop. Dead in Hip Hop.
But taking Nicki Minaj, I think it's unfortunate because you're right. Everybody know what she was, and we know what she was last year, and we know what she is this year. I mean, is this really the wrong image that we're really selling?
For the females?
Yep.
I think
The fact that she's going all the way to the pop market now.
well, and she can stay there, but you're
Right.
not coming back.
Exactly.
So once you go, say bye-bye, and then when they drop you, because ask Krayshawn, how's it looking right now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you pop it out, you're gonna pop them checks for a minute, and then we're gonna be like, see you later. Because the thing about the artistry is that it really is about the artistry. At the end of the day, you know, regardless of who likes who better or who thinks who's hotter or more dope, it's still at the end of the day about the artistry. It's about the lyricism. For me, it really is about the music. Like, you can be spitting all that fire you want, but if you got the whack producer behind you, nobody wants to hear that. And everybody will say, oh, yo, he's tight, but so-and-so doing them beats for him, they're horrible. So to me, all sex aside, no women, no men, if you stack everybody up, there's certain people I personally feel would still be at the top of the food chain with the men, and that's Jean Grey, that's Book Brown. I think they would just fit in as MCs regardless. Eternia is up in there, and I'm not quoting any of the other classics because you know the old school. They held it down. They did it as themselves. They didn't do it showing titties and ass.
And how do we get back to that?
We are not going to get back to that. We have a lane for that. So guess what? That is where certain people fit in, But we're not gonna where every female MC that comes out is gonna be. Wow, we're back to we're back to
That was your issue right there. You wanted to get
we're not back to that. We're not going back.
You don't want it to be so based on like appearance, pretty much.
But we could get back to that though. I kind of agree with him to a degree. We could get back to that, but we're not gonna be the ones to change that. Women are gonna have to be there. They're gonna have to just come out and stop doing it. Don't show your titties and ass.
Okay,
come
so
out
how-
and be a rapper.
And
And
so how
that's it.
So how do
Hold
you
the artist accountable?
Right.
At the end of the day, I think that falls in line with what Misanthropic was saying when we had him on the show, and the same thing I always say. It's part of the balance in hip hop, because like Soul said, there's a lane for this and there's a lane for that, but only this really gets played. Only this gets promoted.
That's all guys want to hear about.
Well, I don't think it's only what guys want to hear about. I think what's happening is people are force-fed into what they are to like and what they're to expect, and unfortunately, they're really going for it. The good thing is, and the good news is that thanks to the internet, that people that do have a difference of opinion with that are like, you know what, I'm not listening to that. I'm listening to so-and-so's radio show.
Did people really want to hear, would people really care to hear old Nicki Minaj, on the level that she's at now?
People who?
The people that's listening to her now?
That's all they had to choose.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the people who are listening to her now like that kind of music. That's what they like. So that's what they're listening to. But I also feel like they're being force-fed to like it. Because when you're played something, I'm not kidding you. There have been times where I've been in the radio or in the car and you just like, okay, skip. I mean, and all you can say is cha-ching, 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 because it's back to back to back. And guess what? It's the same crew. It's Drake, it's Nicki, it's Wayne, it's, back to Nicki, back to this one on a feature with, all this is just check after check. And guess what? It's not one station doing it. It's all 5 stations in your area doing it. And not just in your area, all across the nation. You know what I mean? So it's really about the machine behind these people that's making it what it is. It's not that they're talented, it's not that it's dope, it's the machine behind it. And I think the internet does help because people do have an opportunity.
What about Missy Elliot?
Missy Elliot was different because Missy Elliot was doing a sound that was completely different, and she was undeniable. No, she's not a great lyricist, but she did some shit that was unheard of. the sound that she had, who else did anything like that?
And she
But I'm saying people, but what I'm saying, people didn't
have
that.
it.
Genuine,
Yeah.
she produced a lot of that.
So that's the whole thing too. Like people like Missy, she did something epic for the culture.
Right.
Unfortunately, we did fall into this lull where no one was really doing anything to go further and go beyond, and that was where the internet, that whole thing just started to pop. It was like hip hop kind of fell into this little thing where it was like kind of whispery quiet. Like nobody was really out, nobody was really mainstream. It was, a little bit of Jay-Z here and there, playing old stuff. It wasn't anything like super banging hard, crazy where you were like, wow, this artist is the best thing since Pockets.
Yeah, I'm surprised Missy fizzled out too. Really?
I don't think she really fizzled out. I think she kind of, she had her run, she stepped back, and I know she's gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that exactly. So that would have dented her career too.
And that's the thing about the creativity. So when you look at Missy, you look at Lauryn Hill, to me, those are people that like have more to offer to their audience. It's not just like, hey, look at my cousin ass, or hey, listen to me spit. It's like, I have, energy, I'm a great performer. Because that's the thing too. People can rap all day, all night, but can you perform? Because let me tell you, there's some boring shows that I don't even go to stuff half the time because I'm like,
you know what show they gonna
see
bring.
7 people on stage with the money like this and and I'm like, what is really going on
With
here?
women MCs, they almost get the same kind of treatment that Christian MCs do. Like when you look at a Christian MC, the first thing you think of, oh, this is a Christian MC, he's gonna rap about God all fucking day. I don't want to hear this. People think the same thing.
Say God in the F word.
Did I?
Yes.
Don't rap about God.
Man, God know how I be doing.
God gonna have a long talk tonight. He's gonna be like,
Nah, he quit talking to me about 20 years ago. But remember how you were saying before, like, in order for a Christian rapper to really be accepted by everybody, he has to just be dope. Period.
Yeah.
Like Lecrae, or like Copyright will soon be. You have to be that dude. Same thing with a female. So when you look at a Missy Elliott,
So you meet somebody, or you see somebody that says something to you and say, and it's a female MC. What are your thoughts? Just first impression. What do you think?
if someone says, what's the question?
If somebody sends you an email or comes up to you and say, yo, I'm a female, and they're female, and they're an MC, and they say, here's my song, or I got this album out. First off, before you even listen to it, what's your first impression?
Usually is, honestly, regardless whether it's a female or male, is how you approach being with your material or how you're taking care of business yourself. Like, first of all, if you come up to me and you're like, hey, I know you manage, this one and that one, or hey, I know you do such and such, I wanted to give you some of my stuff. Like, I think if you come to me or you ask if you can send me something, I think that's the first step in trying to network. Where I'm turned off is when you have that same message going 20 times on Twitter, and it's like, asshole Wallace, check out my blah, 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 at so-and-so, this same thing, like, they're just trying to holler at any and everybody.
You want to
But,
be
like,
more
if you-
personal.
Yeah,
You want to be
if
more
you're
personal.
seriously trying to, like, come and ask me for my opinion of your music,
Right.
or to check your stuff out, then I definitely listen. Unfortunately, I do feel that all this music cannot be good, and I just wish people would be ready to accept that, and they're not. So everybody thinks their stuff is dope. Everybody thinks their stuff is good. Unfortunately, they got homeboys and homegirls that just edge them on, and it's like all this music cannot be. It's just way too much music. I mean,
So you don't have a pre-program? Yeah.
not for no. I kind of don't. Now I would say this. If I was probably like, whatever. It's probably somebody I already know, and I'm already not feeling them for some reason or another anyway. So, not someone that I don't know at all that's like, hey, would you listen to this? Or here's my music. And some people do that. Look, if they come to me, I don't know them at all, and they hit me with something, I definitely listen. Some people that I know already, and I'm like already not super a fan, I'll listen to it, but my usual thought is like, is this gonna sound like the last thing? Are they really applying themselves? Because that's the thing. I really, really, really keep stuff real.
Regardless if it's a dude or a girl or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna listen to it and see what I honestly think about it. And then I just, hey, I ain't feeling it, or, you got this and this that's working for you, but, I really can't co-sign it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's just like the white versus black thing. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, because If you're sending me music, you're asking me to listen to music. You're not asking me to judge you as a person. You know what I'm saying? You're not asking me to do anything other than to listen to your music. So based on that, I'm going to give you my feedback based on the music you provide me.
I mean, what I think, if someone send me a track and it's a female, I'm gonna listen to it for the music and listen to that MC is dope. I'm gonna listen to it as an MC, not as a female MC.
So you have no preconceived.
No, because it can be a guy that sings something and it can be whack.
It is usually.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna be like, oh, it's another female MC. Let me see what she gotta say. You know what I'm saying?
I'm probably gonna go look at her pictures. And I'm gonna say this, if I see a whole bunch of pictures of her bent over showing her ass, or if I see a whole bunch of pictures of her in the mirror with her cell phone, done. I'm not listening to this. Because you're playing yourself. If you can't respect yourself, how the fuck am I gonna respect your music? So I would listen to her as a female because I don't wanna hear Kyle. I have no desire to hear that kind of shit. But if I look at your pictures and even if you're cute or unattractive, whatever, if you carry yourself like an adult, like a respectable person, yeah, I'm gonna give your shit a listen. And if you're whack, you're whack. If you're great, you're great. I actually had someone do that. This chick sent me a link to her online musical poetry because she didn't want to call it hip hop. So I went and listened to it, and it was, I won't mention her name, but she was, mainly because I don't really remember it, but she was fucking terrible. Unbelievably terrible. And the thing is, if you look at her write-up, she was all about, I'm about positivity. You know, I'm about female, female empowerment, all this shit. But you go listen to her music, and all she's talking about is, I want to suck dick, da-da-da. And I wrote her, and I was like, I don't understand the confusion here. Like, how are you about female empowerment, but all you're talking about is sucking dick and fucking? I don't get it. And she tried to explain it, but it made absolutely no sense. You know, I'm all about empowerment, but I'm taking the power of sex back. Shut the fuck up, you delusional moron. No, you're not. All you're doing is you're playing into the game that men have set up for you. All we want to hear you talk about is how good you can suck my dick. You know, how you can drop your ass on my dick. That's all we want to hear. And that's what she was giving out. So no, I don't just listen to him and be like, oh, you know what, guys? No, she's not a woman. She's a person. Nah, you a chick, and I'm gonna check you out. And if you're playing yourself, I have no interest in you.
Man, you know what? I think we are about to see an onset of female rappers, femcs, MCs that happen to be female or whatever you want to call it. It don't matter. I think we are about to see an onset of female rappers enter into the game. I think as long as they come in doing hip hop and stay away from the stereotypes that have been set them by, you know, the males in the industry, I think, you know, for the most part, we can see them start to actually carve out, you know, a lane for themselves, and I think it's needed. I think it's definitely needed, you know, regardless of, regardless of their talent level, whatever. I think we still need somebody in there that's doing hip hop, and that's it, and not being a Barbie or whatever. That's great for Nicki Minaj. I'm not dissing her. She managed to find success with it.
This album to me did not sound like a hip hop album.
I think Pink Friday didn't really have a lot to do with hip hop. If you think about the track that she had with Natasha Bedingfield, Last Chance.
That's like one track on the album.
But that's not the only one. Like even the one with the what's the Geisha Girl song? Your Love, Your Love. That wasn't really hip hop.
Yeah, when you put the album on, it sounds like a hip hop album. The majority of the album was not dance.
I don't think it's that different from Pink Friday. Now, if you want to compare her mixtapes to Pink Friday to this album, it's completely different. Like the mixtape Nicki is completely different from Roman Reloaded, or in my opinion, from Pink Friday as well. I disagree. I saw. You know, because I won't say I'm like a Barbie or an avid Nicki Minaj fan, but, you know, I follow her music. I like it. If I'm looking for a message, I don't necessarily go to music. You know, I go to church or go to school or whatever. So I like it because it's fun.
Even Jesus don't like it.
And when I saw Nicki Minaj on Ellen, and I saw these, and me and Ken talked about this, and I saw these two little 3- and 5-year-old girls reciting her lyrics and singing this song, I'm like, okay, she's never... If anyone's looking for this mixtape Nicki, they're going to be very disappointed because she's never going back to this. She's completely transitioned.
The second half of this album, you can tell.
If you take the album for what it is, just completely from what it is, if you take hip hop out of it, it's not that bad of an album because I don't think if you're looking for Click Clack Nicki or Sticks in My Bun Nicki,
You're not gonna ever get that.
I don't even know what the fuck
You're
that
not gonna
is.
get that again. But that's